based on the report that we have, the opposition speaks of 700 deaths, but the United Nations speaks of 7. Now we can just hope that Tanzania will be a peaceful country.
I mean, Zimbabwe is what it is because of his rule and the decision they took as a party back then.
The CCM will not lose power anytime soon. If you just look by the look of things, they are
but
not.
I think that Chin is out of office. Good day, everyone, and welcome back to African Matters podcast. I'm still sitting with Silas today. We've got a lot to dissect. There's a lot going on in the continent, and we need to get down to that and know what's happening. Welcome, Silas.
Thanks for having me again.
Yeah.
So it's good to see you. How was your trip? I heard you traveled. You were in Zimbabwe. You were in Tanzania.
Yeah, no, I would have loved to have come to studio for past few weeks. I was out, but we back to business now.
Back to business.
So it's been good. So maybe we should start with the latter. The country spoke about Tanzania.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, we have seen a lot of riots and unrest going on in the country, and sources are saying the people dissatisfied with the rule of Mama Samia Suluhu, who is the current president. Maybe we can start from how she became the president rather, and
Well, she became the president. Was it 2021? 2021 during the COVID period after the death of President John Pombe Magufuli.
Yeah.
She was the vice president, and according to the Tanzanian constitution, she became the president, and she tried, according to what we know, because I wasn't in Tanzania. You have been in Tanzania. President John Magufuli was known as a mini dictator. He was running the country with an iron fist. A lot of repression on his political opponents. But based on economic terms, it seems like he did well. And there's a lot of infrastructure that were built in Tanzania. You have been in Tanzania, I've not been there.
Yeah, no.
So in terms of infrastructure,
Magufuli must have been, dictator, as you say, because there were some voices that were saying that they want him gone. But then if you look at the development that he has brought, for instance, the Julius Nyerere Road and the Nelson Mandela Road.
Mm-hmm.
Julius Nyerere will take you from town to the airport, Julius Nyerere Airport. So that road is now beautiful. You take very long to get there. In fact, you won't need to take a car, but the bike would be much better. But listen, he's done fantastic job. They've done something like Gautrain as well there, built in connection with a company called GSM. So it's one of the big companies down there. I think Chinese are involved, I'm not sure. But he has done a fantastic job. But then now with Mama Samia Suluhu, yes. She became president by default, like you said.
Yes,
it was not the will of the people. What do you think?
She became president by default. And 4 years later, we thought that maybe with a female leadership, things would have changed, but she continued in the path of a predecessor. And we have seen the recent electoral violence that we have seen recently. A lot of repression against the opponent. The main opposition leader is in prison. I think he was arrested since April. He has been in prison. He has been accused of treason, high treason, and in Tanzania, high treason. The punishment for high treason is
you're out.
It's capital punishment. It's death.
Yeah.
He has been in prison until today. I think he was supposed to appear in court on Monday. Yes, on Monday he was supposed to appear in court just after she has been sworn in. She was sworn in yesterday. Usually they sworn in the president in the stadium, but it was done in a military camp. You can see already the tension that has been in Tanzania. Based on the report that we have, the opposition speaks of 700 deaths, but the United Nations speaks of 7. Now we don't know who to believe, but especially that we cannot have the right information, because there was a time where the internet connection was stopped.
Yeah, well,
except if, she started by banning social media and Twitter and Facebook, but on Twitter only political leaders, those government members, could tweet. Now imagine you're in a country where only government members can tweet. Who are they tweeting for? Because the population cannot even connect.
That is dictatorship. Like you can make deductions from there. That clearly that is dictatorship, because now these are the people who actually sing the same tune with her. Mm-hmm. There will be no problem or challenge with her on that. So I don't think there's a big challenge there for her if it's like that. But then
it's now becoming a trend. It's now becoming a trend in the African continent, because in 2019, Joseph Kabila did the same thing. He tried. He used the
same happened in Zimbabwe.
Same happened in Zimbabwe. So now it's becoming a trend. It's becoming a trend in Africa. But this can take us to the debate that we have been avoiding over the years.
But there's something we can see from there. There is a trend. All these states that we're talking about, the leaders that were doing there at that time, they were seen as dictator. There were evidence that showed there is dictatorship in those countries. But maybe we can stick to this one of Tanzania. We saw TunduLissu.
TunduLissu, yes.
He had to rush to Europe for some medical attention, because he was shot about 16 times.
Yeah, 16 times. That was during the time of John Magufuli.
Yeah. So, and then he came back, and then through Kenya, obviously, sometime he wasn't sure whether he's going to be safe when he comes back and all that. But then the neighboring country housed him. And then later on, Mama Samia is there, and then he is the chairperson of the opposition, the main opposition.
Yes, Chadema.
Chadema. So he's opposing the CCM of Mama Samia, the party of Julius Nyerere. Right. So there is one thing that happens there. Opposition parties are being suppressed. Once they are suppressed, they are complaining about electoral reforms that they think that can better, or they what do you know anything about that?
Yes, TunduLissu was arrested after a series of rallies.
Yeah.
And in those rallies, he kept on mentioning that no electoral reforms, no elections. And they used that against him, that he is enticing the people to rebel.
Inciting violence.
He's inciting violence, and he wants to disrupt the elections. He was arrested based on that. And I don't know if in a democratic country, because Tanzania has been, since the time of Julius Nyerere, has been known as a democratic country. No coup. There's never been a single coup in Tanzania. It's one of the peaceful countries that we had in Africa. But recently, we have seen that has shifted.
I wonder what the international community how would they look at Tanzania now with the recent activities that took place there, because then now, like you say, in Tanzania was, Aguna Matata, Tanzania wetu. Mm-hmm. And then everyone, when you are there, it's not like other cities around Africa. You can't even walk in the middle of night in other streets. Early evening, you can't even walk. But in Tanzania, personally, I've done that. I've tested that. Same as in Zimbabwe, in Namibia, I've tested that. But other cities are losing there. But it's a relatively peaceful country, when you compare it to other countries. Are they going to lose that status of a peaceful country?
When it comes to African, especially around the elections, the African Union has endorsed the result. The African Union has endorsed the result. But SADC has called this election as a sham. They've characterized it as a sham. Even the European Union have declared this relation to be undemocratic. But with the European
Is there anything
Union,
they could do about that? I mean, if you say it's a shame, do you accept that leader on the international forums?
She will definitely be accepted. She will definitely be accepted. SADC did the same with the election was it in Zimbabwe?
Yeah.
When the chairperson of SADC said that there were so many irregularities.
Yeah.
But we have seen SADC leaders attended the inauguration of Mnangagwa. Even Cyril Ramaphosa attended the inauguration of Mnangagwa. They are not going to be sidelined. They are not going to be sidelined. This is on the political side. They are not going to be sidelined because remember, Tanzania is one of the biggest investment, being one of the countries that attract foreign direct investment. You have been there. You have seen how the Chinese have built the road, or they've built infrastructures.
That's a metaphor. That's a metaphor for another day, whether it's an investment or extraction plan.
Yeah, we can. We can call them extraction plan. From a Pan-Africanist side, we cannot call them FDI, foreign direct investment. Yes.
Yeah, no, I don't think they're FDIs.
But now she's a president. She has been sworn in. She's a president.
Yeah, but I'm interested
she
now
delivered a speech
in AU and SADC. I think Tanzania is part of SADC and also part of East African Community.
Mm-hmm. So
these two, let's leave East African Community. These two, SADC and African Union, they seem to be holding two different opposing positions, right? So is there any sort of action that they can take to effect change on the results, like to deny them and say this was not fair, free and fair, and then there should be maybe a rerun, or, you cannot be accepted in these organizations, I don't want to say sanction, but something, equatable or closer to there.
There's nothing that they can do because the Constitutional Court of Tanzania have approved the result. They have approved the result. The African Union does not have jurisdictions over the Constitutional Court of Tanzania.
Then why would you waste all the resources to go out to, say, attend elections, send observers and all that? So if you send observers, is it just for you to form an opinion to say
those are just formalities? Especially those are just formalities. They don't have an impact. They can wake up in them. They can write reports, speak of irregularities. They can even present proof.
What do they do with proof? Who do they send proof to?
No, they will just use it against you. But so if the highest court in the land in Tanzania has validated the result, there's nothing they can do. She was sworn in yesterday. Was it? Yeah, it was.
Yeah, in private ceremony.
In a private ceremony, she's a president. She delivered a speech to. She mentioned in the speech that elections are over now. We must look at the future. She's the president for the next 5 years.
No, it's interesting, but I'm so interested in seeing how the whole thing now is going to unfold, because the general public, we saw the numbers, and the people went out gun blazing out there to say that they don't want him. Okay. How much of a dictator
did you see the result? She has
but
97%, close to 98%.
How do you sweep a floor like that, man?
No, this is we only see it with Kagame, 98%, 97%. She got 98%, and the voter turnout was 87%. 31 million Tanzanian voters
are eligible to vote.
No, 37 were eligible to vote.
Okay.
31 million voted. Imagine she was contested by 17 others.
Were there observers? What are the observers saying? Like
there were observers. There were SADC observers. They qualified the election as a sham.
Okay.
The European Union, that's where they went even further to say there were irregularities.
So, Tanzania has been a sort of a haven for many political parties during the struggle for freedom and independence in many countries.
Yes.
And then there's these sister parties around the continent.
But remember,
so we've got ANC. They even had their elective conference there, I think, in Morogoro.
Yeah, in Morogoro.
So
68, 69?
Somewhere there.
Yeah.
But then there's also SWAPO.
Yes, SWAPO.
The current president of Namibia stems from. And she's said to be a student of the then president of Tanzania, Julius Nyerere. You've got people like Kenneth Kaunda and all that. They were both singing on one tune. We even ended up having, for instance, Namibia, Zambia, Zimbabwe, and Tanzania having the same national anthem.
Yeah, I think it's still the same, but the lyrics the same.
For Tanzania, I know the first
Mungu
Ibariki Africa.
Yeah, Africa,
yeah. Mungu Ibariki Africa na watoto wake. But that's not my point. My point is, these people, what are they saying? Because I've seen one journalist saying that in a common township language in South Africa, you'll say Bangadile or Bangalile, depending on which language you speak from there. Sotho or Zulu, whatever the case may be. But, when someone just walk away, we hear that some of them, those sister parties, decided, no, we're not going to witness this. We're walking away. What happened? Do you know anything?
I'm not well aware of that. But what I can concur with you when you spoke of Tanzania hosting a lot of liberation movements from the SADC regions. Remember, these political parties, I believe it was sometime this year, they had the Liberation Party Summit.
Yeah, here in South Africa.
It was here in South Africa.
Here in Ekurhuleni, actually.
Yes, all these political parties, SWAPO, ZANU-PF, the ANC, the CCM, the Chama cha Mapinduzi, and Frelimo, all these political parties they've created a certain bond.
It's a brotherhood.
Yeah, it's brotherhood.
No, it's a brotherhood.
It's brotherhood.
For good reasons for their countries? I don't think so.
I believe they now are suffering from what is called the liberation syndromes.
Yeah.
They still think that without them, their countries...
There's no country.
There's no country. Without us, you are nothing. We liberated you. Kind of, if you try to rebel, they will remind you.
Yeah, but that's
we liberated you. The CCM will not lose power anytime soon. If you just look by the look of things, they are not.
But I think that chin is out of office. That chin is out of fashion. Because if you look at who's in the office, you can see in South Africa it's happening, it's coming, and I don't think they'll be there for too long, right?
The CCM.
No, the CCM. We'll go back to CCM. It's very interesting. I'll tell you one thing.
In terms of,
yeah, I'm now referring to the case of South Africa. The post democracy syndrome, where people believe that they'll always be there. I don't know if you remember. You were in your days as a student. You were in SRC. Right? And then the people who were there for a long time, who were ruling in the university that you went to, they used to sing a tune that SASCO will rule until Jesus comes. They were getting that.
Even President Zuma said something like that about with the ANC.
Yeah, so they were getting it from the mother body.
Oh yes.
So come on, I don't think you can be SWAPO, you can be CCM, Chama cha Mapinduzi, you can be whoever, ZANU-PF, You know,
No, with ZANU-PF, we have seen already. They have been losing elections since 2008, but they always find their ways to remain into power.
Yeah, one of the elections Mugabe accepted, and that there was a defeat, then they had to be rerun, and then there was a lot of abuse of the citizens.
Yeah, that's
bad.
the challenge that we have now with liberation movement. They fall into what Fanon called the pitfall of national liberation.
Yeah,
that's where now it's embedded with corruption. Political parties that used to be the hope, now they are embedded with corruption. We no longer see the difference between the leaders between the party liberation movement and the colonizer. Now
if we were to refer to Fanon, we would know that Fanon described it in this way. I'll paraphrase it though, to say that, let's put it this way, you're a freedom fighter, that is, before the independence and freedom and whatnot. And then you become a leader of the society, a leader of the government, ruling government. Something bad happens there, you become a bourgeoisie.
Exactly. That's
when the problems start.
Yes.
People have tasted the sweetness of the gem. They don't want to get their hands out of the jar. So I think that is the worst that Africa is facing. Africa is not facing the worst from elsewhere. It's facing the worst that is within them.
Exactly. We can't deny that. In as much that we look at colonialism and neo-colonialism, we should not forget that the enemy outside has no power if they don't work with those who are into power. That's exactly what we are facing. Our own leaders today have turned against the people. Money that was supposed to money for education is being looted. Imagine money for education. Recently in South Africa, we have 2 billion rand. 2 billion rand, my brother. If you make calculation, they give you 2 billion rand today.
Well, I won't be in the studio, that's for sure.
2 billion rand today. And we give you 1 million every month. 1 million. In a year, it's 12 million. In 10 years, it's 120 million. In 20 years, it's 240 million. How are you going to finish that 2 billion? But remember, it's been looted from one hospital, Tembis Hospital.
Well, that's a sad story. I'm actually reading a book about that at the moment. Why Babita had to die. It's called,
I heard it's an interesting book.
Very interesting book.
I need to get myself.
It's very interesting. But then, one thing that sets things that there's wolf among the sheep. That wolf is the African leaders.
And what are the sheep? The population.
The general population.
So it means that we shouldn't be sheep anymore. We must become lions now.
That's not my point. My point is,
so what's your point?
Those who are supposed to be guarding the sheep are the one slaughtering the sheep.
Yes.
Sheep, rather. I must get my English right. So, but yeah, would you agree with me on that?
No, I agree with you on that. I agree with you on that. This will. It's also the same thing that's happening in Cameroon.
Yeah. So, but anyway, so this is what one of the media houses were saying with regard to. Remember, we're still now in Tanzania. The ruling party eliminated all the competition.
Yes, exactly.
They've taken out the major one, which was TunduLissu, as we said.
With Chadema.
And then there is it Luanga or Mpina was barred from contesting.
From contesting, yes.
The rest of the parties are said to be smaller parties which
smaller
are
parties.
no way closer to being a competition
Yeah.
to the CCM.
And the CCM is using state resources. When you are, especially in Africa, when you go to election against the party that is in power, you are not actually going against the party, but you are going against the state.
State machinery.
The state machinery. They will use the judiciary, they will use the police, they will use the army, they will use the finance, they will use your taxes to finance the elections. That's why the CCM is still strong. And the repression that we have experienced with Tanzania recently, there's never been seen. And I definitely believe that Samia is just
a face.
No, she's just the face. There's a state. There are people who operate behind, who have been orchestrating everything that we have experienced in Tanzania.
We hear that not too far from Tanzania in Sudan, there is influence of the Emirates.
Yes.
Who are sponsoring.
There's a genocide.
There's a genocide happening.
In Sudan.
They are extracting and then bringing the weapons for others, so they can keep going. Are we gonna see a Rwanda and DRC story there?
It's actually happening, but it's actually happening.
And remember, put this in mind: Tanzania, along its coast, there are reports that says that they have discovered crude oil there.
Yeah, America will bring democracy to Tanzania.
No,
wherever
there's been
see.
Peace all this time.
Yes, and what surprised me with what happening in Tanzania is now there are reports of accusing foreigners
of the involvement of foreigners.
Yes, involvement of foreigners in the violence before.
Are they printing their own ballot paper?
No, they are accusing because remember, what's the name? Remind me the name of the one who is in prison again.
TunduLissu.
Yeah. TunduLissu, yes.
I mean, he refused. Pity is not everyone understands Swahili, but he refused to be out of prison up until the 29th, which was the date of election. He only wanted to be released after that date when he was, freed from the prison charges.
No, I've checked on Africa. Is it Africa Check? They said it's not true. It's been going around the media on the media, but when I checked this morning, they say it's not true. He had to appear in court this Monday. He had to appear in court this.
So it was a political statement.
Yeah, it was a political statement, and he has been.
An exoneration for him, in that he has said that, and then nobody will see him as the one who is inciting the violence that was accused of. I mean,
he has been inspired by what happened in Kenya, the recent protest in Kenya when they were protesting against tax increment. He was inspired by that. He has been saying that in his rallies. The Tanzanian government is using that against him. Hence, they are
Does
also
he
accusing.
have any alliance with, Chama Pinduzi have got alliance all over the SADC. Okay.
Yeah, they do.
So does his party have alliance outside Tanzania?
No, I don't think so. I saw a post from the DA condemning the arrest of TunduLissu.
They were complaining.
Yes, a post
condemning it.
They were condemning it. From the DA, the Democratic Alliance. So even in Zimbabwe.
Oh well, they have their own opinions. They got their own thing going, but but I'm not there today, so we'll get there someday soon, most probably. But when you eliminate competition and then put yourself out there, if you want to rule, with a rod, you're going to rule with a rod. Is this what we should expect? That's why earlier on I asked you about the peace that Tanzania has been, priding itself about for a very long time. Tanzania wetu hakuna matata, karibuni everyone, mtu wote. Right. So will this not enable her to do as she wants? Because 97.6 or round off to 98%, will that not give her all the powers?
She has all the powers. She has all the powers to run that country.
Running it is not a problem.
Now we can only hope. We can only hope that Tanzania will remain a peaceful country.
Yeah.
Because the recent violence that we have experienced we've seen in Tanzania they're heartbreaking, because it's a country that we always pride.
Peaceful country.
We are so proud of that country, and because of Julius Nyerere, the history of that country.
Scores of people dying in 1 week.
See now, because of elections, something that could have been prevented. Those are things that could have been prevented. To see it generate to that level, we just hope. Now we can just hope that Tanzania will be a peaceful country, and we believe that I believe that TunduLissu will be found not guilty. All the charges will be dropped, and they can have discussion. They can have discussion around electoral reform.
What do you make of the fact that there's a threat to freedom of speech, or it's already taken? Will there be, or is there still freedom of speech?
No, it's not there, because
those who talk, you move them to the side.
Yes, it's been like that for the past decade in Tanzania.
Painful. Right, then let's now switch to, we've got what others have been saying, he's a walking corpse. Let's go to Cameroon.
With PaulBiya.
With PaulBiya.
Oh, PaulBiya, right. PaulBiya.
A 91-year-old is elected as a president.
As a president.
What will you be doing at 91 years?
You will be sleeping. He's not running the country. We all know that there are other people running the country. He is just there. But he has been one of the good servant of France.
Yeah.
One of the good servant of France.
Not of the Cameroon.
Not of Cameroon, but of France.
So
that's why he's still there.
The English-speaking region of Cameroon has, I think must be the southwestern part of Cameroon, have always been complaining that during his rule, they were seen as nothing, right? But then maybe we can start it from the beginning. How does he become the president?
Oh, PaulBiya became, he was a civil servant. He was a civil servant. He was appointed as prime minister by the first president of Cameroon.
Okay.
He was appointed as prime minister in 1975.
Appointed?
Yes, as prime minister in 1975. From 1975 to 1982, he was the prime minister. In 1982, the then president resigned.
Why?
He resigned allegedly because of health reasons. Okay. Just like PaulBiya, but at least the first one resigned.
Yeah.
He resigned.
Are you foretelling that he's going to resign?
No, at least the first one resigned.
But I don't think he's going to finish this term.
Because of
I'll tell you why later, but I don't think he's going to finish his term. I don't think anyone should expect this old man to do any work from now.
But Cameroon is led by old people. The president of the Constitutional Court is 90-something also. It's a country that is ruled by old people.
Yeah, no.
When I'm saying old, it's not maybe 60-something.
No, these are the 80s. You look at the president of legislature, the president of the Constitutional Court, more like a Chief Justice in South Africa, because we'll always refer to that because we are here now. But all of them, none of them is less than 80 years old.
Yeah, it's a country that is led by old people. And
Is it the same in Malawi? Anyway, let's continue. From
in 1982,
yeah,
when the then president resigned,
yeah.
according to the
So
Cameroon constitution, the prime minister becomes the
he
president
becomes president by default.
by default.
Okay.
For a period of 2 years. Remember, in between 1982 and 1994, there was some violence. I think
Instability.
there was instability,
Yeah.
kind of a coup, and so there was a fallout between him and the then president. So he had to assert his rule.
Okay.
And in 1994, he was elected for the first time. 1984.
Now I understand when you said that the other president resigned allegedly because of
Health reason.
yeah.
Yes.
It makes sense. Anyway.
So from 1984 until today. And in Cameroon, it's not 5 years. 7 years.
Yeah.
The term is 7 years.
Jeez, that's long enough. Eh?
That's long years.
Perfect years to make a good progress. We'll come to that. But then since 1984 up until today, Cameroon has had one president.
One president.
Before you and I were born.
Yes, he was the president.
You know what was the funny thing I found online?
So what did you find?
He's older than a computer. You know.
No,
he's older than a lot of things.
No, you are like you were in South Africa. Otherwise, imagine if we're in Cameroon and saying something like this.
Yeah, but someone who's older than a computer, it's not. I mean, that's no, it's okay. But then
the man is in and out of Cameroon. Can you imagine?
He's always going for medical attention elsewhere.
Medical attention. It's in Switzerland. It's in France.
He likes Switzerland, I think. So,
how does he run the country? That's why there's no economic. You can say that's why there's no economic progress in Cameroon.
Okay, we are done with how he got to be there. Let's go in now. What good thing would you say? You said LA was a good servant of
France.
What did he do for general public of Cameroon?
He did nothing. Remember,
Are these the sentiments coming from the Cameroonians?
You can. I've met some of them when we're in Doval.
Yeah.
When we're a student, actually. When we're a student. Many of them. Brilliant students, by the way. They're very brilliant students, especially when it comes to
engineering?
Mathematics, yes. Engineering and mathematics. They are very good when it comes to that. When you engage them, they are not happy to see their country in that state. The general population is not happy to see their country in that state. They are not happy. And the leader of the opposition also claimed to have won the elections. But we know.
By what margin?
I don't have much information on that. But he declared himself the winner. And when I saw it on online, I was happy. Like I misread. I just misread. I think the title. I thought he won. I was happy. Like, oh, finally, this man has been rooted out.
That's okay. This is the 7 years. All right. From now on, his son in that is done. He's the president. Okay. Legally or otherwise, he's the president.
He is the president.
So previously, he has forgotten the occasions that the events that he attended, he had to be reminded that this is a time for you to speak, to read a speech. And, I don't want to mention other things that happened when he was on the stage and all that, but he seemed to be not functioning properly, cognitive-wise. Who is ruling behind? Is it the wife who's in her 50s to a husband who's in the 90s?
There's definitely a shadow government. There's a parallel government. There are people who are running Cameroon. But as I said, you see.
So he's fronting for someone. If we're not in that sense that we used to, but he is the face there. But then there is someone controlling, because some people are saying that the wife, who is much younger
Yeah, I think she's
and much
36,
energetic,
36
I
years
don't
younger
know.
than him. 36, yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know what you're doing with your grandfather, but it's not my business. But is she calling the shots?
I don't have much information of the wife calling the shots. I don't know what happened behind.
Can he
behind,
still
behind,
read and understand what he's reading?
No, he does. He doesn't. We have seen so many things of him. He does not even know what he's doing.
No, I mean this is for people, our listeners and followers, anyone who's going to see this, in any case, who doesn't understand what's going on in other countries, because Africa is referred to as a dark continent, and we will have that name for a very long time.
Yes.
As long as we see these trends that we're seeing, if they keep, if we keep seeing these trends, that name is not going to leave us. There's a lot of pessimism around the continent, the older folks doing as they wish, whether it be Paul Biya, now Mama Samia, we had Mugabe, I mean, Zimbabwe is what it is because of his rule and the decision they took as a party back then. All right. So, well, we can debate about that, but there's other factors to that. They had to do what they wanted to do. They had a project to, it unfortunately it brought these results. But all these trends that we keep seeing, are we ever going to see Africa which is full of life, Africa which people would want to live in because of how developed it is and all that?
I believe, yes. I mean, I believe in that. I believe that one day Africa we will reach our full potential, but it's not gonna come easily. The future of Africa belongs to its youth in every country, whether you
I mean,
from Algeria to Zimbabwe, the future of those countries belongs to.
I think
is in the hand of the youth. As long as the youth still praise the old generation, we're not gonna see change. It will take a revolution. I'm talking about a real revolution, a real African revolution.
Are the projects, not speeches, not plans? Because we are good at planning. You know it from here.
Yeah,
we are
yes.
very good at planning.
Yeah, we are good at that.
But are there projects that are seen around the continent that suggest that we're going to rise one day?
At this moment, if you look in Africa, where we can see a bit of hope, it's in the Sahel Alliance du Sahel, as they say in French, Burkina Faso, Mali, and
I understand what they
and Niger. At least there you can see those three leaders are rising against the colonialists. They are rising against the colonialists, and you can see the project that they have embarked upon. And those three countries have understood that we need to unite to face our common enemy. I've always believed that there's no African country that can develop alone. It's not gonna happen.
No, I don't think.
I
don't think that will happen.
As a single country to
I'll
develop alone.
I'll tell you of one simple. Maybe I'm being too simplistic about it. Okay, if you combine your country, South Africa, Botswana, Zimbabwe, that is more than the 2/3 of the world diamond. None of these countries is calling shots around the world. At least Botswana is one step in right direction.
But you see,
they seem to be benefiting, and their economy is being built with the proceeds of their minerals. We are only collecting tax.
Even Botswana, with the new president, they are trying to review the contract with the beers. They want
They
to be
want
in
more.
charge. They want more. Now they want to be in charge of their own resources. It's difficult for them because
Yeah,
they are
I
fighting
think
it. They are
he said that he
battling
wants to
alone.
take over the control and the marketing
Yes.
of the.
If you go today in the Congo, you will find we speak of all the mining companies. But what does the Congo benefit from that? Only taxes.
I'll tell you what.
Taxes that these companies sometimes they don't even pay.
I'll tell you what my perspective would be of how we are going to win it. For as long as all what we call FDI comes, okay,
Foreign direct investment. Yeah, you don't
if
call
it
it
comes
investment.
to extract, we are going nowhere.
Exactly.
Okay, we have seen now there's something called Africa's best kept secret between Tanzania and its neighbors through Tunduma, Nakonde into Zambia. There's a railway line that was built by Chinese in exchange for mineral rights.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Is it new, or are you referring to the one that was built
No,
by
that is 1970s. Okay. Remember when we'll talk about it one day. I've got the historian lined up already for that. But remember, this country was landlocked. Kenneth Kaunda tried with South Africa, tried with Angola. It was almost impossible. War was going on in there. And then, he wasn't winning. He had to find means. Luckily, Nyerere managed to convince the then Chinese president. Finally, after going around the world, Chinese were the only people who were ready to come and build that railway line so that they can access the ocean, so they can be able to trade with everyone else around the world through the port of Dar es Salaam. That's when it saw the great development that is Dar es Salaam. So that is why you saw that Hichilema was the first of the people to announce that he's going to Tanzania.
Yeah, I even saw it on
That is the main reason. But, we were on Cameroon. We're not expecting much. I don't think anyone should expect anything from the current president.
He has been there
He's out.
He's out, and he's 92. If you will
think about it,
will he reach 99?
In whose interest is he going to take the decision? Is it that country its own has got about 60% of its population who are below 40. So in whose interest is he going to act?
But remember, France is losing its influence in West Africa.
Is there hope that its grip on Cameroon will be history?
Not anytime soon, unless there's a new leader. Unless there's a new leader, because even his main challenger in the past elections was a former spokesperson of PaulBiya. So it's the same entourage of PaulBiya.
Just another
so
way.
They need a new politician, a new generation of politicians.
Is there such? Are we seeing anyone rising?
No, Cameroon has been one of the quietest countries where it's been labeled as a peaceful country because of it's been a good child and a good student of France.
Yeah.
Remember, France has already lost 3 countries.
Yeah, in the Sahel.
They have already lost 3 countries. So there are countries that they are not going to lose. Countries like Cameroon, countries like Côte d'Ivoire. Côte d'Ivoire is like a little France in Africa. They are not going to lose. They are not ready to lose. If there is a leader that rises in Cameroon, France will do its best.
You know what is the worst fact coming from all those countries? There's a lot of cocoa in those countries.
Yes.
But there are some people who have never tasted chocolate.
Yeah. And Cameroon, they have oil. It's a country that has oil.
Yeah.
Yes.
But then let's pack that one and go to Madagascar. Someone is on the run.
Yeah, he's on the run. He fled the country. He fled. The youth, at least in Madagascar, the Madagascar youth managed to make someone run. He ran in France, and he was a French citizen. He was also a French citizen, so they took away his citizenship.
Yeah.
So now he's a citizen. He's just a citizen of France.
Wow.
The citizen of
So
France.
they revoked the citizen.
Yes.
So he's no longer a citizen of Madagascar.
Yes, he's no longer a citizen of Madagascar. Now
That's very interesting.
Now he's just
Imagine Ramaphosa comes back from wherever he comes from and say, no, you're no longer South African.
They revoke his citizenship. But the challenge that we have with unled revolutions.
Yeah.
The youth just goes on the street. You know what? Now the consequences of that was now it's a soldier who is now in power. We don't have a good history of having soldiers in power in Africa. Only if we can even pinpoint those who actually it was genuine.
Yeah.
They genuinely wanted to change the country, like Thomas Sankara and
but
Gaddafi.
Let's talk about the why. Why is he running? What did he do?
Cost of living. Cost of living in Madagascar is high. It's one of the poorest countries in Africa, and the youth decided to go on the street, calling for reforms. But the president has been stubborn, like all the African leaders. They always want.
What reforms do they want?
I don't have much information about the reforms that they needed.
That country,
but it's what I know. It's about the cost of living. The cost of living was so high.
Yeah.
And they wanted reform around that.
If you've never seen how high the cost of living can be, visit our neighbor, where the inflation goes over 1,000%. Okay. So you'll understand what they're trying to avoid. But
is the Zig doing well?
I don't know. I've never seen it. I've only seen dollar there. But the country itself, Madagascar, is its common commodity, or what they trade mainly, is the wood. They've got good wood, and then some are saying that it's been sold illicitly. So the deals are being cut, and then under table deals and all those kind of things. So, and tourism, obviously, when this unrest. That's why I was asking earlier about the peace in countries that see a lot of unrest. And so they are afraid that they will see nobody coming to their country because it's an island after all, and
it's a former French colony.
Yeah,
wherever you see unrest in Africa, majority are former French colonies. Seems like the French left a virus. A virus of unrest and coup d'etat.
So it seems, I believe you, because then there's one thing that France was good at is to loot the coffers of countries of its former colonies. I think its former colonies still the treasury was by and large controlled by its former colonizer.
Yeah, especially countries, the countries that are in West Africa, they use a common currency.
Franc.
Yeah, they use a common currency, and all their reserve, their foreign reserve they must send it to France, the central bank of France. So
and it handles the investment.
They handle the foreign reserve, and when it comes to foreign reserve, it means that if the government wants to make payment in foreign reserve, it must first go to the French central bank. It goes to Paris, and they are the one that are going to process those payments. So the wealth of those countries is found in France. So they have nothing actually. Imagine you don't have foreign, like in South Africa, we don't have foreign currencies, foreign reserves in South Africa.
That's pure slavery.
That's slavery, and it's 14 countries until today they're still paying a colonial taxes.
Did Ibrahim Traore manage to cut those chains?
Yes, that's why they hate him. He did that.
Interesting, but are we expecting to see, because I've heard that we're going to see a lot of coup d'etats for the next few decades to come. We're going to be, especially in that West African region, we're going to see a lot of coup d'etats there. I mean, is France ever going to let go of these countries so they can run their own affairs without its influence?
They will not. Remember, there was this French president, what was his name again? Jacques Chirac.
Yeah.
He once said that without Africa, France will be a third world country without Africa. So they are not ready to do it. They are not ready.
So they know if they let go, they're out.
They're out. It's just, what do they have in France? Tell me, what do they have in France? Except old buildings and the Eiffel Tower.
I'm going to ask you this question. I hope maybe you would. Who, especially in former French colonies, we often hear about rebels. Something that is from English former colonies. It's something that is rather unusual.
Exactly.
Who is sponsoring these groupings?
It's France. It's France. In Mali, they are the ones sponsoring. In Burkina Faso, they are the ones sponsoring. In Niger, they are the ones sponsoring. They were involved in the Rwandan genocide. It's France that does that. They prefer, they even in Chad, they like it when they like it when those countries are not stable.
Then they can extract as quick as they can.
Yes.
Okay.
Unless you're a good student like
Cameroon,
and
you will have
it's not gonna be there. And in Cameroon, if you have protest, it's usually in the English speaking
regions.
Regions. Yes. But in Côte d'Ivoire, when they tried with President Gbagbo to cut the umbilical cord with France, what happened? There was a rebellion. That's what they do. Until you succumb to them. Until they force, if you are in power, they will force you out in power, there will be a coup or they will be assassinated. That's how France operates in the African continent. But when you look at English-speaking countries, the only country, I think it's Nigeria with Boko Haram, and Boko Haram, it's mostly about religions.
Yeah.
You see, it's mostly about religion.
Oh, well, they have an ultimatum.
Oh, I saw that from Donald Trump.
Over their head. They got ultimatum from Mr. Trump. Do you think he's going to exercise that?
As much as I don't support Boko Haram, America must stay away from Nigeria, because we know wherever America goes, it's not actually for what they are pretending to go. There's oil.
They always find a back door.
Yeah, they will always find. I think it's a way for them to have access illegally to the oil of Nigeria.
So is Dangote disturbing them? Because now he has the biggest refinery in the continent, right, in Nigeria. So is he disturbing them in a way? Because then now, if they were to buy from him, it's going to be more than double the cost of what they used to, to spend. So is he in their way? Is he disturbing them? How are they relating?
It will definitely disturb them, which means that because Nigeria is probably the first or the second biggest producer of oil in Africa.
Yeah.
But it's crude oil.
Yeah.
It must be refined
somewhere. I think now they're doing the end product to go into the market. Yeah.
In a way, it's going to disrupt them. In a way, it's going to disrupt them.
It's a big market disruptor. Yes. So
it's going to disrupt them.
So I think we should be expecting more. With the recent discoveries, we hear other countries like our neighbor, Namibia is said to have discovered that. And so hopefully they will be able to follow in the steps of Dangote. Right, ladies and gentlemen, that's what we had for you today. Please like, share, and subscribe to our channels as you see them on the screen. Thank you.